Hi, I'm Shige. I wanted to do a tour of my sketchbook I did while I was in Japan. Well, I was in Japan for 3-4 months and my goal was to fill this sketchbook, but also I try to capture the moments I felt, some types of emotion, but at the same time I try to be in the moments. Some are from picture, some are from life, some are from my memories, but it's just gonna be a stories about like each sketches I did behind each sketches. So here you go. So the first sketch I did is this tree. I used pastel and I wanted to just capture how like lively it is, even though the branches were cut it to the point like it's not alive, but it's still I felt like the energy of the tree, how like branches are like, kind of like tied in together, like interact each other to like kind of grows up. So I wanted to capture that life of a tree, and this is what I got. This is another pastel sketch I did. So I just felt like I needed to sketch, and this is the view I got. This is a very quick sketch I did while I was on the way. I think Kyoto Art University. I was on a bus. I'm in Kyoto. We're crossing the river Kamogawa, the Kamo River. I just saw this like big tree and the people like running and walking on the side of the river, and try to remember the essence of it. And I think we're stopping on the bridge that I was able to kind of remember the essence of the view I wanted to capture. So I just like try to remember as I pulling out the sketchbook and I pull out my pencil. I just did the sketch like within like 2-3 minutes, and because I did that in such a short times that I really like this kind of like a nostalgic sketch. Also, I believe this was the first time I was in Kyoto. I feel like I was more emotional at that moment. But yeah, this is one of my favorite quick sketch I did while I was in Japan. This is another cloud sketch. There is no place. I just wanted to draw something and I pull out my oil pastel. Choice of the color is a little bit unique than what I usually do. So this is more vibrant and like it gives me like a warm feeling. So this is a good sketch too. So this is a sketch of paintings I did for the solo exhibitions while I was in Japan. These are the 4 paintings I did. I did took like behind the scenes, and that'll be the next video, or let me know if you'd like to see that. This is the favorite sketch I did while I was in Japan. This is Mountain Fuji-san. I've seen Fuji-san. It was always from bullet train or from airplane, and I never took a moment to experience the presence of Fuji-san. I decided to stay one night near Fuji City, and I woke up early just to see Fuji-san. It was like a 7 a.m. in the morning. There's like only one Oji-chan on the bus. I researched around to see where it would be a good location. I went to this park and I was there for like a good 5-10 minutes. It was pretty cold. So when I saw a Fuji-san from the bus, I feel like I finally understood the presence or the power of Fuji-san, because I know a lot of people talk about it, and even though it was like 2-3 hours, I'm glad that I made this trip. I think this really captured the presence of Fuji-san, like how beautiful it was, like the energy. So if you're in Japan and never seen Fuji-san, I do recommend just going there. You don't have to climb up, just be in the city, you can see Fuji-san, and let me know how you feel. So after the first sketch I did a couple other sketches with different medium. I did with this a pencil, another sketch with a micron pen, I was looking at Fuji-san getting farther, and I think I was feeling a little sad. The trip is about to end, and I was also happy that I got to finally see the Fuji-san and made a trip, and I did some sketches. So this is like the sketch of like mixed feeling, I would say. This is like only one sketch I did with the micron pen, I believe. And this one is I was on a trip with my former coworkers. We rented this like Airbnb with egg-shaped sauna. The Airbnb was renovated from like old traditional style Japanese house. I was kind of hesitant to do a sketch until the morning, and it was like close to 10 a.m. So it's like we have to go soon, but I still decided to do this sketch. I did like sketch with yellow Pentel color pencil first, and then I just like kind of went over with watercolors. So whenever I see this, I just like remember how beautiful the mountains are, like Airbnb was, and like the food we ate. We had like nabe. It was just amazing trip. I hope we can do another trip together in the future. In my hometown, we have beautiful sakura, and this is like huge one, but it's getting old, and this sakura could gone anytime soon. So I just wanted to capture like the sakura itself, and I used pastel to capture the beauty of sakura, Shidare Sakura, and keep this as like a memories, a record of what we had, how beautiful the sakura was. This is just like a random sketch I did on the way to Shimane, I think. Oh no, I was on a bus, just wanted to do a sketch. So, and I got to Yonago City where I stayed. Yonago City became one of my favorite places to stay during spring. I only decided to stay in Yonago City because it was an accessible location to visit Adachi Museum. I got to Yonago Station and I had some time to spend until like a dinner time. So I looked for something I can do. I saw this Yonago Castle ruin. I don't know how to say that word actually. I've seen it so many times, but I never pronounce it. Ruin, I think. Yonago-jo Ato. And I took a walk, and even on the way, I was walking behind like the castle along the river. They have such a beautiful sakura trees. Someone was going down fast, and it was like such a beautiful moment to just walk. When I made it to the top, it opens up to like full sakura everywhere, and after you kind of pass that huge field opens up in front of you, and you get to see like 360 view of Yonago City. It was just beautiful place to be. I did 2 sketches that day, and this is the first one I did. But it was such a beautiful moment, and I decided to do another sketch at Cherry Blossom. I do recommend Yonago City if you are in Japan during springtime. It was just like a perfect time to visit this castle ruin. So the next day, I did go to Adachi Museum. I highly recommend going to Adachi Museum because they're #1 Japanese garden for 22 consecutive years. When I got there, I see why. It's in Inaka, so countryside, and it's surrounded by mountains. The garden is made with the background mountain, so it dissolves the lines of like what actually they have as a garden and the mountains. And it was just amazing how clean the gardens are and like integrating the nature. I've been to a couple gardens, but this is just like different. If you love Japanese garden, ever in western part of Japan, I do recommend going to this Adachi Museum. And after that, I went to Izumo, and I was on way to Izumo Shrine in Shimane, and this boy and mom, the train car is empty, but like they sat on the same seat. Boys, like I think he's like 5 years old. I never got their names or like how old they are, but this boy like looking outside and asking his mom, oh, what time is it, like so many times, like kept asking the same question over and over, even though mom was like, oh, it's like something, and she was like, I'm so tired. Like, お母さん疲れちゃったよ. So I was like, I felt like, oh, I wanted to do something for her, and I just like, I was thinking, what can I do? And like, I just kind of like glimpsed two of them, and I say hi to the boy, and he's just like, who are you? And mom was like, oh, that kind person, like, 優しいお姉ちゃんだよ. I start talking to boy, like, oh, how old are you? How are you? And like, I asked mom if I can sketch him, and I did the sketch, and I gave to mom, and I think she liked it. I don't know if the boy liked it, but boy was like, 車かける? Can you draw cars? So I was like, of course. And like, but I wasn't sure what kind of car he was talking about. So I saw he's wearing like a t-shirt with a bunch of cars. I asked him, which one should I draw? Pointing out his shirt, and he's like, can you do this one? Can you do this one? Can you do this one? And I just kept going, and we're at the stop. Both of us are getting off, and we got off, and the boy asked me like, let's hang out, like 一緒に遊ぼう. And I was like, okay, let's go. It's like this old train car right next to the station that anyone can go in, and the boy knew about it. He just like, run to the car, and he just like, kore, like this, and playing with all the switches, the buttons, and pretend like he's driving the car. And it was so cute. We got hanged out for like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, I need to go. And mom was tired already even before I started talking to them. So yeah, it was like a good interaction. I still remember, and I'm just hoping that she's okay. She's not like pushing herself too much. I hope she has someone she can rely on, like just talk to. So that was the story from Shimane, like after I went to Adachi Museum, and the story that's not on this sketchbook I still remember, and one of my core memories. The next day, I had a few hours, and I decided to visit Yonago Castle ruin again. I got to see like a Daisen. There's like a mountain nearby. Also kind of gave me Fuji-san vibe. It was such a beautiful day to be there, and I was just sitting on this bench and looking at like Daisen. Daisen could be on a little more on the right part, but I did this sketch Sakura over a Daisen. When I turned, I saw this huge, vast area. Felt like we're on clouds or something. So I did a total 4 sketches to Yonago Castle because it was such a beautiful place to be. So after I made a trip to Tottori and Shimane, I went to Okinawa. Okinawa is one of the places I wanted to go while I was in Japan, and I happen to have friends who are from Okinawa, or they've been to Okinawa so many times that I asked their recommendations, and out of 4, 2 of them recommended going to this place called Kouri Island. Kourito. This place, you have to drive 2 hours from the airport. It's such a small island, but they have this iconic bridge, and I took a moment to just enjoy the view, enjoy the beach, lay down. So I got this beautiful Kouri Island bridge. There's not that many people, so you get to still enjoy the beach, bridge. So if you're ever in Okinawa, I do recommend just driving the Kouri Island. this is the sketch I did while I was at the cafe waiting for food to come up. So this is another place I was recommended by Okinawa friends. This cafe is in mountains, so you can't find it unless you know this place. They have like a garden in front of the cafe, and they have this huge tree which have so many plants inhabited on tree. But I felt the energy of nature, like the tree itself again, like the first sketch I did. I just wanted to capture that. I did this sketch while waiting for the food to come up. It was just a beautiful tree. The food was great too. I believe I had very simple French-like sandwich, like with, instead of like mayo or something like that, they use like yuzu pepper as like additional flavors, which I really liked it. So I do recommend this place as well. At this cafe, it just feels like you get to feel the air. Because this locates on mountain, you get to see like ocean. Yeah, it was just a beautiful place to be, surrounded by all trees, like gardens, flowers. So I highly recommend going to this place as well. So this is just a random sketch I did with the watercolor from home. This was in May, and the mountains were getting like all the fresh green colors, like more like a yellowish, and there are some parts are very yellow. I just loved it how it looked, so I decided to do a little sketch of the mountain, and here it is. So this is like a sketch I did while I was on a way to a drugstore, and I was looking for something to sketch, and I was passing through the city hall, and I just saw this like purple tiny flowers just blooming on the side of stairs. I wanted to capture it, and I did the sketch there. This is like a very quick sketch because it was getting gloomy. Even though this was like such a quick sketch and I wasn't even thinking much about it, but this captures like the essence. So I was feeling so much emotions, and I wanted to capture the candle covered with a paper, but the candle was still lit on. I did look up for like how the paper burns, but other than that, it's mostly like from my image. But I think this really captures the emotion, like the warmth of the fires. This could improve for sure, but this is good watercolor sketch from imaginations. So this is just like a sketch I did on the way back from Naoshima, and I decided to just do this regular views and the golden hour view at the same time. This could be interesting to just go in deeper and like deconstruct and construct fiction and whatnot. Yeah, this is like a moment I felt I needed to capture a view from a bullet train. So on the way to Naoshima is like art island in Kagawa, Seto Naikai, and we ride on this bus has a seat with this design, so decided to keep it as a record, and that's how it looked like. I think order might be off, but it pretty much gives the vibe of what I was seeing. I went to Naoshima, which is an island in Kagawa. It's closer to Okayama, located in between Okayama and Kagawa, like Shikoku. I recommended by one of my artist friend, Chichu Museum, and he was saying, oh, if you like Dear Vegan, the one in New York upstate, this is the place to visit. And I do love Dear Vegan, so I needed to visit. So if you wanted to visit, you need to get ahead of time because it gets sold out very fast. And it was the holidays, so I bought the ticket. I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't expect this much. It was so nice. I understood why he said like it was like a Dear Vegan, but it's like the whole experience kind of changes how you see museums. The idea of museums changed. I was thinking this is like a museum, but like whole different types of museums. This Chichu Museum is designed by Ando Tadao-san, and that itself tells you something. very unique, iconic concrete architectures. You cannot take pictures or videos inside. It's just like the experience you have, you never would have in other places. So I wanted to talk about this all like Chichu Museum, but this could be another video. It's like so beautifully done. And I do highly recommend just going there, visit there, and fully get the immersive experience. It's like team lab, but more sophisticated and no photo sounds when you are immersing yourself in the art. I do recommend this place so much. And this is the last sketch I did. I was on my way from Tokyo to Kyoto and I just saw this ocha tea in front of me. It gave me like the whole trip is ending, like I'm about to leave Japan and going back to New York, and like I felt so much emotions just looking at this random bottle of tea. I felt it's like the perfect one to fill the last page of my sketchbook and to end the trip, and just feeling so much emotions. And I was like thinking of what I learned, the places I went, how 3-4 months flew by. So those are the sketches I did. I hope you like the stories, or I hope you like the sketches. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's in the descriptions. And thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.